Hi, my name is Martha Murray, and I'm Scentsy Director of our Sweet Aroma Chicago team. And thank you everyone for tuning in all over the world. We're so glad you guys tuned in. And this is our local team here in Chicago. And we are having a team get together tonight, and we wanted you to be a part of it. So I'm going to get started here and tell a little bit of story and talk about goal setting and being motivated and hopefully helping you build your Scentsy business. In 1972, a study was conducted at a nursery school with children ages 4 to 6 known as the marshmallow test. A single marshmallow was offered to each child, but if the child could resist it or resist eating it right away, he or she was promised 2 marshmallows instead of the 1 marshmallow. Researchers analyzed how long children would resist the temptation. Some kids grabbed the marshmallow right away the moment the researchers walked out of the room, but other children mustered up as much willpower as they could find, finding a variety of temptation-resisting tactics. They sang songs, played games, covered their eyes, talked nonstop, whatever they could do to resist eating that marshmallow. The objective of the experiment was to see if the ability to defer gratification correlated to long-term academic achievements. 216 children participated, and they were tracked all the way through high school from this experiment. Researchers found a dramatic difference between the 1 marshmallow kid versus the 2 marshmallow kid. Kids who exhibited the ability to delay gratification longer were more academically accomplished. They scored 210 points higher on SATs, they were more socially competent, and there was a marked difference between their self-confidence. They handled pressure much more effectively. And then in a follow-up study, when these children were then in their 40s, researchers found that the 2 marshmallow kids had higher incomes, stronger marriages, and happier careers. So you're probably all wondering, what does this have to do with my Scentsy business? Well, goal-directed, self-imposed, delayed gratification is a powerful predictor of future success in any endeavor. If your goals do not make your heart sing, then it's not a goal. Because the first time that something goes wrong in your business, you're going to say, well, I gave it my best shot. You know, I invested the $99, what did I have to lose? But a small goal has small power. A big goal will be bigger than any disappointment. And no matter what you do, if you're starting a new diet, trying to break yourself of a bad habit, we are all here entrepreneurs. We own our own business. You're an entrepreneur. But you have to become disciplined and set your goals. You have to wake up every day and open the key to your business. No, we don't have physical keys where we go and open our business, but you have to say, I'm open for business. I'm going to do something to work my business today. The goal you set must be challenging, but at the same time realistic, attainable, not impossible to reach. It should be challenging enough to stretch you, but not so far that it breaks you. Goals are crucial. You have to set annual goals, set quarterly goals to make sure you hit those annual goals. Set monthly goals to make sure you hit the quarterlies. Set weekly goals. Set daily goals to make sure you meet the weekly goals. You kind of get the gist of what we're talking about. Any business, this is how they operate. They have to set goals. Success comes in the daily choices. And when you set your goals, your why of why you joined Scentsy should correlate with those goals. When I joined Scentsy, it was kind of a hobby really, and I think most of us here probably joined as a little hobby, a little side business. I can make some extra money doing that, you know. But just like many of you, my hobby turned into, once I kind of got the business going, I'm like, wow, I can do pretty good with this, you know. I can make some extra income here. So it blossomed into so much more for me. And 3.5 years later, we fluctuate between having 170 on our team. I think we're at 172 right now. So we kind of fluctuate up and down. But I never dreamed in a million years when I first joined that it would be what it is today. And that's what I want to let you guys know. When you set those goals, when you see the big picture of Scentsy and what it can do, it will change your life. Now, you have to find out what your why is. This is my why right here. It's my family. I'm thinking my why is I want to provide a better future for my family. And so many people, their why is different, and that's okay. We have people that they put that money away that they make from Scentsy towards their kids' college fund. The money that they make is their one vacation that they're going to be able to take a year, and that's their why. And that's okay. Some people, it's their retirement for their future. Some people, it's a tax write-off. What a great way to, a tax write-off, a home-based business. The tax write-offs are endless, really, when you have a home-based business. So you kind of just got to figure out, why am I selling Scentsy? Because that's what's going to motivate you. When I look at my family and I see down the road, I see where I came in 3 years. Where am I going to be in another 3 years? I might be able to financially support our family at that time. So that's kind of where you got to figure out what your why is, because that's what's going to drive you. Because it's going to get tough. I don't want to give you a downer, but January's kind of tough in our business. The holidays are over, and if you don't plan appropriately, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do with my business this month? But if you plan ahead, when that month comes, you're going to be prepared for January. You're going to be able to make your 500, especially if you have a team, so you can get paid from your team. So set those goals and make them realistic, and then you've got to figure out how am I going to get to that goal. And that's what we're all here to help you do. If your sponsors here or me as a director, we can help you set those goals, how much you want to earn each month. Another reason that I just love this business so much is because of each of you. We wouldn't have this common denominator of Scentsy if it wasn't for Scentsy. And I feel so blessed to have each of you on our team and in my life. There's many of you I never would have met if it hadn't been for business, especially Liz, Well, I love Liz. That's many of you here, no, not Jen, I wouldn't have known Jen either, and you. No, if it hadn't been for Scentsy. The others I do know. But I love that it builds relationships. We get to go, we travel together, we go to events together, and we have so much fun together. Jen and Liz both have been to Scentsy family reunions, they've been to Spring Sprints. We have a great time together. That's like a highlight of our year. Just hanging out with each other and our road trips. We have so many memories on road trips. So it's a lot of fun. So there's so many other things that have benefits of Scentsy. It's a beautiful thing when your career and your passion kind of come together. I've said it took, I worked in the insurance field for years, and I sat behind a desk and a computer, and I'm a little high strung, so that wasn't really my thing, but I did it because that was my job. But now I feel like I finally found my passion now that I'm in my 40s, and I found something I truly love, and I wish I would have known about it 10 years ago. But I'm thankful for it now. But so many times people, I hear, well, I can't book any parties. I've asked everybody for a party. Nobody wants to do a party. I can't sell anything. I hear that a little too often sometimes. But I always tell you, make it your goal to get 100 no's. Out of those 100 no's, you're going to get some yeses. And then you can't really complain or be upset by your results. Because so many people, they get upset by their results they didn't get the work they didn't do, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So you have to work your business each and every day. And Scentsy, it does require patience and hard work. I can honestly say I worked pretty hard to get where I am today. I've given up a lot of evenings, but I would have preferred to be at home with my family, or Saturdays, doing some other things. But I have to look at it this way. During the week, I've been able to be at home with my family, or if my kids were sick, I was able to pick them up at school because I wasn't working a 9-to-5 job. So you know what, there's give and takes in any business, and that's part of this, giving up some evenings and some Saturdays, because 5 years down the road, I won't be working that as much. That's what our goal is. Not to say that you can just sit back and enjoy the ride, because you're still going to have to work your business, but I won't have to work like I am today. And so that's kind of where you have to look at things at. Oh, I found this I wanted to share with you guys. There is no royal flower-strewn path to success, and if there is, I haven't found it. Where I have accomplished anything in life is because I've been willing to work hard, and I think that's a great statement. Building your business takes time and patience, and it's some hard work, but I think in the end it will be worth it. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it.
People join Scentsy sometimes to feel like they belong. Sometimes they have a hard time interacting with other people or just meeting other people that have kind of same kind of goals, same kind of ideas, or even just kind of developing good friendships. When you have something in common, such as something like Scentsy, that's kind of fun, but it's work, but when you have that in common, it's much easier to develop friendships, to communicate. We've seen so many people through the years. We've only been in it a little over 3 years, 3.5 years. But just seeing how people have developed, how they have changed, how things that really was never a part of them is now a part of them. Even Martha, when she signed on with Scentsy, again, like she said, it was part of just a hobby, a fun thing, make a little extra money, never was involved in sales, didn't know she could sell anything, signed up just because she liked the product. And it developed into a whole lot more. A lot of you are kind of the same way. It's helped you in areas maybe that you were a little weak in, but you've expanded out. You've made changes. It's helped you grow because it stretched you. There's many people on this team that even just their physical appearance has changed dramatically from the time they signed up with Scentsy to where they're at now. Their whole outlook, instead of
self-confidence.
Yeah, because they've become more confident in themselves. Their whole demeanor is totally different. There's so many stories, even there's people even in this room that their stories are just amazing. So Scentsy has a lot more to offer. Look at the big picture, as Martha said. When you have fun with the people that you hang around with, you have the trips, with the Scentsy family reunion. You have these things to get together. But even the incentive trips that Scentsy does is just amazing. I can't say it enough. People probably heard me say that several times. That's one of our whys. It's become one of our whys now, is to get to travel like nobody gets to travel. We travel like things that just blow our minds.
I think too, when you are doing a show or events, there's a lot of work involved. So many times if you go to a Saturday show, you got to get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. Setups you have to be there by 7, and that's work. But what I love about it is I am doing this for my business. This is something. I mean, you invested that $99, and it is your business. We're consultants for Scentsy, and that's the big company, but yet it's still your business, and so you're investing almost into yourself. That makes sense,
You're invested into that company. You're like a shareholder.
And
basically
so
what you are.
I've had a lot of people ask me here recently, and they're like, well, how did you get to where you are? And yes, it's hard work, but a lot of times I spend, and I was going to mention this, I've spent a lot of time listening to, when I first joined, is all the training calls on the workstation. Whether I was getting ready, whether I was fixing dinner, I had those training calls playing so I could be listening to those training calls in the background. And I listened to them nonstop. I listened probably every single call in there, and to learn how to work my business. I didn't have anybody that lived by me. My sponsor was 12 hours away. So I feel like I paved a lot of the way on my own to figure out what would work, And when you take that ownership of that, and then you're going to find out, how am I going to make this work? How can I make this work for me? Because maybe what worked for me might be not necessarily what's going to work for you. I feel like I built a lot of my business on doing events. Some people just build it on doing basket parties. Some people build their business on just doing pool parties. So you kind of got to figure out what works for you. And then the downtimes, what I do is I just started reading. I read a lot when I was a kid. I kind of got away from that, and now I've gone back to that. So I spend a lot of time reading. John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar, Murray-Scentsy. These are all great books to read to help you build your business. Also, Zig Ziglar has like hour-long things on YouTube. If you can listen, if you can't necessarily, sit down and read a book. I know some of you have small children or you're on the go. If you're working out, if you're walking, you can kind of just listen to those on YouTube. Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell, he has like hour-long talks on there as well. So, YouTube is free, so you don't necessarily have to go buy a book. So there's a lot of different ways to get yourself motivated and for your business, and I highly encourage all of those, and there's many more out there that I didn't even mention that will help you build your business.
Free download.
I'm sorry?
The free download. Zig Ziglar book.
Zig Ziglar.
Free download. Born to Win.
Oh, you had one? A free download? Oh, okay.
It's still free till the.
Oh, it is.
2012.
Okay, there you guys go.
Yeah.
Free download for Zig
Born
Ziglar.
to Win.
Yeah.
There were some other ones that they had free downloads on too that we did earlier.
Probably.
I did it right on my phone
Yeah.
and went right to my Kindle.
Okay. Liz is a great one on training calls and listening to motivational. She probably knows more than I do.
On the way to work.
Yeah.
When you talk about, it's funny because when you talk about 5:30 getting up to do Scentsy,
Yeah.
when I get up at 5:30 for my writing job,
Yeah.
it's completely different when I get up at 5:30 to do my Scentsy job.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Oh, sure.
Huge difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So,
You know what? Some people don't like doing events. I love doing
I
events.
do too.
It's a great way for me to meet new people. I met so many new people from the vendors to having regular customers on my business to I got recruits from shows. It's just people I never would have met at a craft show or a vendor event. Mark and I have done festivals together, and I love the festivals. They're so much fun.
Well, and the other thing that I was going to say along those same lines is, I know with us, when we're doing some of the fun things that we do with Scentsy, all that time that you get up, when you have to get up and do some of these things, makes it worth your while. I know I think about those things. We're investing into a business, we're growing a business, there's the returns on your commissions and everything else, but the time that you get to spend with other people, like we had a lot of fun with Jen. Jen had a lot of fun meeting new people when we went to Greece. She met a ton of new people. She actually didn't even hardly hang around with us. She had new people that she met. So I'm sure that was going through Jen's mind too. This was worth it. Going, to these events, doing this. This was worth it. So
When we were sitting out by the agency, I was like, okay, now it was worth it. Very cool.
That's some of the things though that makes it worth your while. And again, it is different when you're investing into yourself. I worked for someone for years and years, and I had to work on Saturdays a lot of times. I could not stand that I had to get up on a Saturday to go to work, And now I've been doing it for years with my business, and I do it with Martha too. On my days off, a lot of times we'll do some of these things.
I
It's
heard
very
too,
fulfilling.
and Mark could probably share more with this than I could, is getting from so many people have the employee mindset or the employee mentality, and Orville kind of shared quite a bit of that with us, when you have to kind of shift your way of thinking sometimes. Can you share that, Mark?
Well, and all of us kind of start off this way if we start off as employees, where, okay, I can work, 30 hours, 40 hours at my regular job at this much per hour, and I know I'm going to have this. And when you first start off your Scentsy business, you're right, it's not going to start off where you invest 40 hours into your Scentsy business. Is it going to come out that, yeah, I made, $25 an hour? No, that's not going to be the case. When your boss started his business, it didn't start off where he was investing 40 hours of time and coming out the same amount as he made as an employee someplace. But he's seen a bigger picture or bigger vision of what could happen. And that's what we have to do with our businesses. When you start your business, yes, you're going to invest a lot of time into it, and your return might be small to start off with. But the more that you invest and the more you build, that begins to shift. And as it shifts, you'll start seeing it. You know, it starts to shift, and then all of a sudden you start having this rapid shift as your business begins to grow. And instead of maybe making $1 more an hour than what you were making, it's going to jump by $10 and $20 and $30 more an hour as that business begins to grow. Your shifts become very, very large, and it becomes a huge snowball. And yes, it does take some time, and yes, it does take some investment of your energies. But you know what? It is well worth it in the long run.
And I think in our Clear Wellness Chicago team, we've had huge growth over just within the last month. Katie and Gina, who they're twins, they both promoted to director, so congratulations. I'm sure we'll watch this later on. Congratulations to both of them. But also in the last month, we had 25 new people that joined in the month of October. So that's huge growth, and that's where Mark's kind of talking about where once you get your business really established, you'll start seeing some huge growth. And that's what happens in 1 month when you've got 150 people on your team. They're signing up somebody, this person's signing up somebody, this other person is signing up somebody, and that's when you're going to have huge growth when you start building a downline. Okay.
That's all I have. That's it.
All right. You enjoy your food.